The umpires told our players that, well, he's a ducker, so we don't pay high free kicks to Lindsay. That's clearly a preconceived idea. You know, you just want the umpires to umpire what they see, not their preconceived ideas.
They were the post-game comments that shook the football world and will continue to play out in the next few days when the AFL hands down its penalty. Welcome to Access All Areas and welcome Matthew Lloyd. Lloydie, how do you view what North Melbourne did by way of creating that situation and has handled it since?
Yeah, good to be here, Damo. They'd love their time again, wouldn't they, North Melbourne Footy Club? Disappointing loss. They played really well, but obviously that didn't happen. That didn't occur. They've gone through all the audio. The umpires didn't say he's a ducker, we're not going to pay free kicks. Yep. There's no doubt they're missing some Lindsay Thomas free kicks that should be paid. I can understand North would be frustrated by that, but the version of events that were relayed to Brad Scott weren't correct. So, Damo, I want to put back to you. Who did relay that? Because you've gone on record as saying who that was. Yeah, well,
the official that they didn't name in their press release on Saturday afternoon, Lordy, is Jeff Walsh, the senior footy administrator and very, very good administrator. But he's the official who had the conversation with Brad Lloyd about a conversation which effectively... Brad Scott, that didn't happen. And that's an issue. I think that's going to be an issue spinning out of what the AFL does to the footy club today. I still have a strong view that Brad Scott should have been or should be suspended over this. Now, I don't expect him to be. You can almost rule that out. But I don't see how you can actually say anything worse about an umpire than what Brad Scott said on the weekend, and on the basis of absolutely nothing. And look, we'll get the announcement from the AFL at some stage of the next 24 hours as to what it will be, but I think internally for North Melbourne, its mechanisms and processes around Brad Scott going into a press conference are probably as big a takeout for them as what will happen by way of AFL sanction.
Yeah, I think he needs to be managed even by Heath O'Loughlin, the media manager. I think he needs to be managed, Brad Scott, because he is such a hothead at times that he can say things he'd regret. But James Hird, Damo, 12 years ago, was suspended. I've got a $20,000 fine, had to do umpiring courses. The club was fined $5,000. 12 years on, you believe Brad Scott, should he be suspended for a game and maybe a fine?
Yeah, as I said, my belief is that he should be suspended. I don't expect that to be the outcome. It will be a significant fine, and there will be other, I would think, ramifications and sanctions tacked onto that overall sanctioning. But you're right, Brad Scott is a fiery character, and that's him, and that makes him work. He feels he works best when he's on the edge. But he was fiery post-match. There were Channel 7 camera people and media people kicked out of the room on his behest, and there was also a lot of swearing going on too. So I think you're right. I think the whole sort of post-match situation, because they lost the game of footy, that the scoreline of 11 goals 18 says to Brad Scott they should have won.
Yeah, one of the guys who got caught up in this furor was Jamie McMillan, and he had a bad moment late in the game as well, Damo, where he was trying to play for a free kick here himself. There was no one who... He's playing for head-high contact. I think what's happened here is Jamie had no player he could give the ball to. He just wanted to have either draw a free kick or just hold the ball in for a ball up. He got it wrong. Right decision paid there.
It was 100% right. You can't blame him. He was having one last roll of the dice. And you're right about McMillan. He's been inadvertently and unfortunately, I suppose, involved in this situation because of a conversation that Jeff Walsh relayed that didn't actually happen. North played what was once termed unsociable football by probably their counterparts in this particular game. Lordy, they ultimately came away without a win, but did the tactic work?
I liked it, Damo, only because they played great footy with it. I think they've gone up in my estimations from the weekend's game, even though they lost it. They went after Luke Bruce in particular. Bruce didn't have a great game. Jack Gunston, they were into him all day, didn't have a great game. Tarrant beat him on the night. Michael Ferrito, I think he had more fights and disposals, Damo, but he had a good game as well. So I think that they won many admirers. They've been beaten, I think, 9 of the last 11 by Hawthorn. They probably wanted to take it to them physically, and they didn't get the end result. But with Cunnington, Swallow, Wait, they might have beaten Hawthorn on the night. They played a super game of footy.
It's a fine line, isn't it, playing that way? You've got to get it absolutely right. Do you think it is something they should pursue for the remainder of the year?
Oh, mate, they've made a statement there. I think the gap's closed between Hawthorn and North Melbourne. There was one involving Michael Ferrito on the night. Some will say that he might have gone too far with that one where he was playing at the hair of...
so what is he doing?
Of Jordan Lewis. Obviously, Jordan Lewis... He's got a receding hairline, Damo, so Spud for all he's telling him about it. I think that's fine. It's all tongue-in-cheek. I don't think Jordan Lewis would lose too much sleep. I don't think he'd lose too much sleep over that.
I've got a receding hairline too. Hey, Todd Goldstein, his last 3 weeks have been significantly down on what he's displayed now for a good 2 seasons of footy. 6 possessions on average, less a week, but it's just the general impact around the ground that is lacking.
Yeah, players hate having injuries as an excuse, but his knee, I just don't think he's covering the ground very well.
Right.
And I just wonder, is he not training like he was earlier in the year? Because he's definitely fallen away, and as a result, Norths have lost 3 of their last 4 games, which has been disappointing for the Kangaroos.
Are their premiership hopes shot if he doesn't improve his performance of the past 3 weeks?
I think they do need everything going right for them to win the flag, and that's Todd Goldstein being right on top of the ground. There's been a bit of furore, Damo, over the last couple of days over a conversation that was had on TripleM radio last Monday on the Queen's birthday. I want to play Eddie Maguire and Danny Frawley. You were involved in that conversation or in the box at that time. I want to play it and then ask you about it afterwards. Let's hear that conversation.
I reckon we should start the campaign for a one-person slide next year. Caroline Wilson, and I'll put in 10 grand straight away, make it 20. and if she stays under, 50. What do you reckon, guys? Who else is up there? I know you're in, JB.
No, straight in. I'll be in amongst it.
Is Duck there?
Yes, I'm here, mate.
Duck's in. Danny, you're in.
I'm in, Ed.
Mate, I think I could do an auction here today.
I'll actually jump in and make sure she does. I'll hold her under, Ed.
And I reckon we could charge 10,000 for everyone to stand around the outside and bomb her.
Yeah, I'm on Caro's side now, Ed. I'm on Caro's side these days, Ed.
Over the last couple of days, Damo, that's come out, and obviously there's been a lot of people upset, including Caroline Wilson, bitterly disappointed with that. We heard your voice at the end, saying I'm not being part of that. A week on, Damo, what's your take on those comments?
Listening back to that and reading it back as I did yesterday, it is highly inappropriate. Look, the context to it was about having some fun with people going down the slide, and there was an even attempt to raise money around it for the MND pursuit, sliding into the slide for Neil Danner, who is a great cause. But as I said, listening back to it, it's not right. It is inappropriate. I think time over again, all of us, myself included, would say things very differently to what we did at the time. And any words which can be construed in any way as being supportive or anything else toward domestic violence is just highly inappropriate and should not be said.
Yeah, Danny Frawley's made issued an apology. Eddie Maguire, obviously, he's done it in some ways this morning, but more will play out with Caroline Wilson tonight on Footy Classified. Back to on-field matters. The Cats, did they make a statement, Damo? I've been all over them since the Adelaide game. They then had a few bad losses.
You dropped off them a little bit with the Collingwood-Carlton game with good reason, but you're back on.
Well, I just think that they had poor losses because teams came after them, but that Adelaide game where they attacked the Crows from the first bounce, they did it again to the Western Bulldogs, and I was just so impressed with their pressure again. And also, this side, they've got the makings of. We believe that there's a few similarities to a side back in 09.
Well, they won the 3 flags, as you know, Lordy, 2007, 9 and 11. For the point of this exercise, we've plucked out the 2009 team as being the pinnacle of what they achieved through that period. On the left there is members from that team, and on the right, are they fair comparisons? Because if they are, they stack up beautifully.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because I think that the first 3 in particular, Ablett for Dangerfield, it's a great swap. Johnson for Menzel. Menzel's in probably career best form. Motlop is probably as good as Chapman. And then in terms of this one, Harley Henderson, I think Henderson's just as good as Harley. And I think Blixarves is probably the one that plays that floating role. Guthrie Ling, similar. Kelly Duncan, similar. And then probably Brad Ottens is the one that was such a big finals performer. It's still there for the big ruckman to do that here, Zach Smith. But, it's there for them if they want to take it this year. They're
locked away in the 8, obviously. It's just a matter of where they finish in the 8. Is the 8 actually set? Melbourne was badly beaten by the Swans yesterday, and now, along with Port Adelaide, are outside the 8 by 2 matches and a significant amount of percentage. Are we just playing for configurations of the 8 from here on in?
We are now. I think we've had our best 8 sides for a fair while now, probably 3 or 4 weeks. Port Adelaide have been bitterly disappointing. Melbourne aren't ready yet to play finals. They've had a pretty solid year, but Port Adelaide, probably one of the major disappointments of the season. I think that 8, of any side could nearly just about win it. West Coast are a worry. North Melbourne are a worry, but the other 6 sides are right in the frame.
It's been a tough year on so many fronts for Essendon Footy Club, in particular the last couple of weeks on the field. What did you make of their performance yesterday against GWS, and how have they gone about it overall?
I've liked it. Bomber Thompson was critical of their performance against Hawthorn. What are they playing to win? Are they just playing out the year?
They were serious accusations, weren't they?
They were.
By former coach.
And I didn't agree with them because I thought their first 9 rounds, John Worsfold was playing an attacking style through the corridor. They beat Melbourne, but I think yesterday was their best performance of the season. Fantasia kicked 4-4. Tip and Woody back played a great game. I thought Leuenberger's in really great form. So I think Zaharakis was back to his best. So great performance against the Giants, gave him a real scare.
Fremantle's restarted its season. It took a long time to do so after 10 consecutive losses. But interesting incident during the game. David Mundy throwing away the boot of Dougal Howard here, Lordo. Now, one of the umpires here decides to, when you see this action, the there at the top of the screen, ping him and pay a free kick against him for so doing. Is it the right call?
Mundy may feel or may say that it was just in the way of everyone. Someone could have tripped over it, so I was getting it out the way. But if he was doing it just to frustrate Howard by getting his boot out the way, I'd go after Mundy in that sense if he threw my boot away. So I can understand.
You say go after him.
I'd go after him and remonstrate with him, and just to let him know you're not going to throw my mouthguard or my boot away. I'll let you know about it. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there, but I can see why a free kick was paid on the night.
The Lions' season is not improving at all. A bad loss again to West Coast on this occasion. Racked up a lot of disposals during the game as a collective, and this man here, Mitch Robinson, in the past 4 weeks has been racking up a lot of numbers against some very good players, working backwards, those players being Pritis, Neal, Gibbs and Mitchell. Yeah,
when you're losing every week, you want to take some positives out of it, and he's been a big positive because you know what you get every week with Mitch Robinson. He may cross the line at times, but I think he and Dane Zorko are probably two players that get a big tick this year. There hasn't been too many others.
And no one else?
I wouldn't say there's... No. Rockliff's been injured. He had a 42 disposal game, but he probably hasn't been to where he was last year, so it's been a lean year.
Elliot Yeo returned to the Gabba, once was a Brisbane Lions player, clearly copped a lot from the crowd there, which was a very small crowd, by the way, but I've got no dramas with this, Lord,
No, I think you can see the guy here lean over the fence, giving it to him. See a replay of it. They've taken too kindly to a lot of the players that have left. This guy leans over the fence. Obviously just saying, I've got to give a little bit back here. I think it wasn't too disrespectful.
You used to love a little bit of banter with the crowd.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I even had a bit on the weekend playing for a bit of local footy.
How many did you kick?
A lazy 14.
Yeah, good on you. Nice cash to come with it too, I think, Lottie. Hey, thanks for your time today on Access All Areas, and thank you again for joining us on Access All Areas on Australia's #1 sporting site. Hope you have a good week. We'll catch you next Monday. Goodbye.